Hey everybody, welcome to Two Comic Book Dudes. Only one comic book dude here today, though. Justin had a family emergency he had to take care of. I'm Aaron, editor-in-chief of Comic Booked, and with me tonight is Diego Uribe from Mad Cave Studios. Diego, thanks for joining us, or me.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
Sure. So Diego and Darren, um, see, I'm terrible with names. That's awful. His name's not right in front of me. What's his last name?
Darren Shore.
Darren Short reached out to me a couple months ago now, actually, and sent me the first issue of Battle Cats Battle Cats, and I was like, "This is really cool." And he sent me a poster, which unfortunately was too big to hang up anywhere right now.
Oh
So
no.
I'm working on getting a frame for it so I can put it up on my wall. Swap out one of my Marvel and DC posters here, but it's a really nice big poster of the main Battle Cat leader.
Kelvin. His name
Who's
is Kelvin. Yeah.
Calvin. Okay. And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to
That's
be
fine.
really bad with the names through the whole thing. But Battle Cats was a cool story. Um, the one thing when I first started reading it, I'm like, well, this is like, a Dungeons and Dragons kind of party. But
hmm
then you got kind of like the Thundercats going on a Dungeons and Dragons adventure. I just thought that was really cool. So do you want
Yeah.
to talk about, let's talk about Mad Cave first. So how did
Sure.
Mad Cave Studios come about?
Mad Cave has a weird story, to be completely honest. Mad Cave Studios originated because our CEO and founder, Mark London, has been writing. He's been a comic book lover his whole life. He's been writing scripts for a long time, but he never tried to do anything with those scripts. He would just sort of write them and show them to his wife. Eventually, his wife, who is our other founder, her name is Laura Chacon, convinced him that he needed to, really try to see them all the way through. And so she likes to take credit for Mad Cave a lot of times. And yeah, basically, so they were actually living in Colombia at the time, down in South America, and they started doing it there. They got a lot of the artists who are with us to this day. They started there, and when
Wow.
they really just and when they decided that they wanted to start selling, and showing the world these stories, was when I joined the team in Miami. Initially, I worked from home, and eventually Mark and his wife moved here, and we started the office in Miami. So we actually have two offices, one in Miami, Florida, and the other still back in Colombia.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
And it's funny because a lot of the folks that we've talked to, other companies in the last few months, have had similar stories. They not necessarily starting in other countries, but just the fact that the talent can be anywhere in the world.
yeah,
And you can communicate so readily now that you don't need to be like the old joke, everybody had to be in the bullpen, in the same room in order to
yeah.
work on comics, and now you can be in Miami and Colombia. And we interviewed somebody a few months back who their artist was in Italy, and they live in California, and they've never met each other. So
Okay.
it's pretty cool. Really neat.
No, I mean, yeah. So pretty much all our artists are in Colombia, but they are sort of in a bullpen type situation. They work together. They have an office together, and then
Okay.
we've got the other office here where Mark writes, and we've got some of the marketing stuff going on here. And
Awesome.
yeah, the business side of things is here. The artistic side of things is split between the two places.
Very cool. All right. So you got Battle Cats, which we have two issue. You have one issue out, and is the other issue released already, or it's due to be
Yes,
released?
the second issue is released, and the third issue should actually be coming out within the next month.
Cool. All
Yeah.
right. And we'll point people in the right direction on how to get that. They can get it on the website.
They can get it on our website, which is madcavestudios.com. And they
Okay.
can also get it from Comixology, Amazon, Drive Through Comics. I think there's a couple other places, but those are the main places where you can buy it. Yeah.
Awesome. And I just read today G.
Yes, G Honor and Curse. That's actually
That
not out yet. You got to set
okay.
the preview to that.
That was awesome.
We're trying to come out with, like I said, Battle Cats 3 in the next month, which means that probably a month after that we'll release G. Even though it's already finished, we're sort of sitting on it for now, just to
It's
conclude
cool.
that first arc of Battle Cats. And
Okay.
yeah, G Honor and Curse. I don't know. Do you want to talk about maybe what you liked about the comics, or if you have any
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah. I mean, it was the art overall, like Battle Cats and G, were just really really cool. You know, well put together. I mean, I'll admit I've reviewed some books in the last 3 years that were bad.
Okay.
But I mean, the art, sometimes like a good story will hold you only so long if the art is bad.
Okay.
But with you guys, I mean, this is a good story and really solid artwork. I love in both of them. It's the great lines and the colors are beautiful. The people look like people, which is awesome. Not some blocky things, and
Okay.
it's really good. So with G, Honor and Curse, I just felt like there's a little bit of like the old Shinobi video game. You kind of had
Yeah.
that feel to it. You have the ninja, the shinobi learning to be what they need to be, but then you have this very troubled main character
Hmm.
who has this mysterious power or something inside of him that he's really kind of rebelling against, which is great.
Yeah.
So a good setup to whatever's going to happen with this story. It's good. It's worth picking up for sure when it comes out.
Yeah, like you said, he's got this sort of darkness inside of him that he doesn't understand yet, and the story will expand, and we're actually going to see some historical characters within the story as the story progresses. We'll
Awesome.
see some names that, I mean, if you've ever read if you've ever been to Japanese history or into samurai movies or anything like that, some names are going to sound familiar from the actual history of Japan.
Great. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, okay, so I'll point them in the right direction. We'll make sure that our viewers get out there and check out
sure.
Mad Cave Studios. Definitely make sure they're picking up Battle Cats 1 and 2 and 3 when it comes out next month.
Yeah,
That's a cool story. I just love the swords and sorcery kind of stuff anyway, and the fantasy and Lord of the Ringish type of
yeah,
a mission. I love that the story is kind of like the Battle Cats have to prove themselves. And this kind of their undertaking that the king has laid out for them. Go kill this beast, and there's so much other stuff going on that they haven't even got to the beast yet. There's all
yeah.
this other stuff happening, but it's definitely a cool story.
So that the story about the dire beast actually concludes in the third issue, which is going to come out soon.
Okay.
And you're gonna find out more about why they were sent to do this, because I think in the first issue they comment to each other about how it's very strange that they were all of a sudden sent on this mission, and they're gonna find out a little bit more about that.
Mm,
You'll also meet in the third issue you finally meet the main villain, which hasn't appeared yet.
okay. Cool.
Not the dire beast, something else. And the thing is, issues 1 through 3 are almost like a side quest, to put it in like sort of video game terminology,
Mhm.
where we wanted to show the Battle Cats all together doing something pretty epic. But it's not the real threat that is currently looming over Valderia, which is the name of the kingdom. Um,
Okay.
once we get into the fourth issue, you'll start really seeing what's happening and why, and who the Battle Cats are. And uh, Battle Cats is a tough story because it's got such a big world building and so much lore behind it that our writer has invented. Our writer being Mark London, that that it's tough to really get it just from the few issues that we have out,
Yeah.
and it'll make itself clear as the story progresses.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's big enough that it turns into a video game and a collectible card game and all this other stuff, right?
I mean, that would be awesome. We can only
Yeah.
hope. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's awesome. I really hope that Battle Cats takes off because that's just such a great book. Now, any thoughts about doing actual print for any of the books?
So yes, we're actually planning on doing print for a convention that we're going to be in coming up soon.
Okay.
We haven't formally announced it, but I guess I could tell you about it. We're gonna be at Wizard World Chicago
Oh,
at the
awesome.
mid to late August. We're gonna
Okay.
have a booth. We're gonna have a booth there, and so we plan on having physical issues of all our comic books there. And we're once we do that, I think we'll investigate maybe trying to get into Diamond for like a wider sort of distribution. But we're pretty new to the game, so we're still testing so many things. We're still learning how to print, how to properly format comic books. It's a learning process, you know.
Sure.
You can't really figure it out until you try everything for the first time. So we're taking these little steps forward, and we're hoping the company can grow. We have more comic books coming out. We have several scripts of different stories. So yeah, we're just taking one step at a time.
Awesome. Well, the
Yeah.
one thing, I've been in comics, in and out of comics for a long time now, and it's interesting now the way the market is with so many avenues for distribution. It seems like before, some of these books, the only way you could get them is if they had shelf space in a
Yeah.
comic shop. But now, I mean, even with a print book, you can sell it electronically, and they order it, directly from your website, or order it through Diamond directly for themselves, and that's like really opened up the possibilities for smaller publishers, which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody would love to be in Diamond.
Right.
Um, the thing is that one of the risks with going directly into Diamond when you're a small company is if they let's pretend, and I mean I guess this is a good problem to have, but let's pretend they turn around and ask you for 100,000 copies of something. Well, you need to have the not only the money but the business sort of logistics set up to be able to say, okay, yeah, I'll print them tomorrow.
Right.
Um, and that takes some time, that takes some planning. We're working to get to that, and I think we can do it. But for now, it's just so much easier to have our comics on Comixology on our website. Which, I mean, something like Comixology is essentially the digital diamond of the world, right?
Right.
They're the powerhouse in that. So it still has a very large fan base, which is
Yeah.
great.
Oh
It's
yeah.
amazing for a company like us. Yeah.
Pretty cool. And the digital comics are really the big thing for a lot of people. I'm still a physical person, so when you guys print those, I want copies of them. I
I'm
mean, I'm
I,
just,
no, no, I'm a physical comic too. In fact, I think everybody that works at Mad Cave prefers physical comics to digital comics, and we're all. That's why I'm saying we're taking steps to go in that direction because
awesome.
we love our digital comics, but we all kind of look at each other and like, oh, but we want to hold it and we want to turn the
Right.
page.
Yep. It's hard to
Um,
sign a digital comic, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So well, let's talk about what was your gateway comic? What was the first thing that you remember reading and thinking, "This is what I want to do"?
Well, so my entire life, I loved comics. I got into comic books because when I was in like sixth grade, I guess that makes you like 11 or 12. I got into drawing. My mother's an artist. My mother's an oil painter, and I
Oh
got into
wow.
drawing. And her teacher was also who's much older than me was also a big comic book fan, but back in like the '60s and stuff. And when
Cool.
he found out that I loved comic books, he actually decided to make like his own curriculum just for me that was how to draw comic books.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would, and ever since that age I started going to the comic book store every Wednesday, and you end up obsessed. and
Right.
um and I actually stopped drawing a couple of years later, but I never stopped reading comic books. And I loved, at first it was the superhero stuff and all of that, but then I started trying out different stories. And what did I mean, Alan Moore's early stuff
Oh
um,
yeah.
is probably the what made me start taking comic books really really seriously, in terms of that it wasn't just random little stories, that they could be deep, they could be moving and serious as well. But my favorite comic book of all time, which I guess I just have to mention because I love it so much, is Why the Last Man.
Oh yes.
um,
Yeah. Brian K.
yeah,
Vaughan. Yep.
yeah, I love how it subtly critique, or maybe not so subtly critiques, the society that we live in.
True.
And yeah, I would love for that to be like a TV show or something.
I know. I keep saying that. Yeah, I
But
remember picking up that first issue. It was just so good, and I think I collected like the first, I don't know, 30 or something. But
yeah,
yeah,
but
cool.
yeah, even though I loved comics so much, I never really saw myself working in the industry. I ended up sort of falling into it when the opportunity fell in my lap, and I was like, yeah, I love this. Why would I ever say no to this? Like I used to work in banking. I used to uh yeah, and when this opportunity presented itself, I jumped at it.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell where life leads us sometimes. So I
Yeah.
never thought I'd be doing this either. So that's cool. Well, Diego, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. I'm have to wrap up. I've got another interview here right after this, so we've kind of triple
Great.
booked tonight. So,
Okay.
but I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm glad we got to talk about Mad Cave Studios,
Thank
Battle
you.
Cats, and G, the Honored Cursed. Really looking forward to that one when it comes out.
Okay.
So definitely we'll be talking again. Maybe after Wizard World Chicago, kind of see
Sure.
how things went with you guys there.
Yeah,
And
definitely. I was gonna say that I'll send you our issues so you can check them
cool.
out, and if you like that poster, we actually have one for every character.
Oh wow, that's
So
cool.
let me know, and you can get your hands on some of those.
Very cool. That would
Yeah,
be awesome. Yeah, maybe we could do a giveaway or something too with the set of like the first 3 issues of Battle Cats or something when that comes out. So
yeah, that'd be great.
very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. We appreciate you taking the time to watch us. And we'll have information in the description of how to get a hold of the folks at Mad Cave Studios and get your hands on these books on Comixology. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave any comments or questions that you have for Diego or for the folks at Mad Cave, and I will make sure that they get them. Um, and other than that, Diego, again, thank you. And everyone out there, go read more comics.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you for anyone listening.
Thanks.